Hi, welcome. I'm David, your home repair coach. Today we're going to continue talking about how to repair wobbly dining room chairs. I'm going to assume at this point you've already watched the intro video, and we're going to go ahead and dive right into this. So, one of the first things, well, after that, the next thing I want to do, blue tape and Sharpie or a pen, and we're going to label all this because otherwise you will really be kicking yourself later. I'll write on the tape roll. Maybe if I had a pen, I could put them on there and then write, but I don't want it to bleed through there. This chair is relatively simple, so I'll just go like right upper for this one. It's all my blue frog tape that I was telling you about earlier, so I won't harm the finish or anything. And we'll go right lower, and you can use whatever labeling system works. Different chairs are going to have different things. Photos never hurt. I mean, you can always just do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if that's easier for you. Snap a couple photos. This one here, well, it only has one bar. We'd want to label, front and sides if there was a piece going that way to keep track of them. But in this case, not too crazy. We will go, I'll just do right for this leg. You could almost just go process of elimination on the other side if you want to. Depends how adventurous you're feeling. But I'll just do left upper and left lower. Front should be pretty self-explanatory, but we'll do that. Now this will definitely, if you try taking apart a couple at a time, then this will definitely get more critical, and you want to do, one right upper, one right lower. Next year will be two right upper, or whatever it's going to be. This makes a lot of sense to me. Just make sure you label them, make sure you really remember your own labels, take photos. Do not want to have problems with this later. And don't assume that because every chair is built the same, they're going to fit exactly the same. Very small differences can add up on these two. And then I'll show you in a second, there's a couple other parts underneath this thing that we're going to want to label as well. So I will lay this down on here, and you can see the seat is held on by a couple more screws. So we will take my handy M12 surge driver with a nice Phillips bit. These are so wobbled out, you can almost take them out without. And you just zip them out. And I will do a separate video showing you how to put these back in, because there's kind of there's a couple options for filling the holes, but you're going to want to do something because these holes in this particle board are so stripped off. And I'm just going to set this off the side. I'm just doing one chair, so I'm not going to bother labeling that one. Now I'm going to take the screws, and a sandwich bag actually for holding these might not have been a bad idea. I meant to grab one of those. But then I'll just tape the screws up here so they don't lose them. Be a little careful here not to drag them around on the finish too much, but that'll be fine for now. And then I am going to go ahead and I'm going to try to get out. I think you can probably see it here. We've got these diagonal pieces that are finger jointed in, and I'm going to try kind of smacking these a little bit in to break that glue bond a little bit. Using a rubber hammer, of course. Got my handy Nupla mallet. I think we can kind of see what we're doing here. Not too much movement there. Oh, so that one definitely moved. We could see that one move. I'm going in, even though ultimately we want to go out. That's kind of sometimes is a good way to go. And I should say here, so now the thing with the chairs is ultimately, To really do this well, we want to get this all the way apart. It's primarily loose back here. Yeah, we could shoot a little glue in there and clamp it. It'd probably hold for a while, but to do a really good fix, I want to get this all the way apart, all glued up, put back together again. Sometimes, though, that doesn't happen. So this stage, partly we're disassembling the chair, but partly we're also just kind of figuring out how far apart this thing really wants to come apart. So a little bit of movement on these, and we'll go the other direction in a minute to try it and see. I'm going to go ahead, and then this is the clamps I was telling you about earlier. So what you can do with these, most of these trigger type clamps have some variation of this. This one you just push up to release, that black thing slides up. That pops off the end. This goes all the way down. Then this will go on the other side facing that direction. And it'll bump, push that in again, and it'll kind of click over there. Now we've got that in reverse. So we can set that back up there. We can go like that, and now as we pump it, it should just nice and slow and gently start separating this. You can see it's mostly separating here, but that's okay. If it doesn't pop all the way here, as long as we get one side off, then we can go from there. So that actually moved that before that, which was, oh, I pulled all that too, so that really came loose. So that's a good thing to be watching for. Sometimes they completely fall apart, and that's why we labeled, well, we labeled almost everything there. I forgot to label these again. And you can see those broke, which seems to be a common problem. This finger joint just holds a lot of glue. There's still space for glue. I think we'll get a good hold on that still. I'm going to go ahead and label right rear, right front, and then left on those quick. So as you can see, we're coming apart pretty quick on this one. Oh, this one, I guess I started just putting these on here. This part isn't visible, so I'm not as worried with the Sharpie, because this will all be covered by the seat at some point. Okay, so RF, LR, LF, and then I want to be kind of careful with this one. Unfortunately, well, let's do this. I'm going to try to lay this, because this is the point where I might kind of go ahead and set this on the floor or another bench to make a little more space, but I'm trying to make this so you guys can see this while I'm working. So this one is pretty well there. This one is pretty loose, and a lot of times you can get these to go just wiggling back and forth a little bit once you've got them started. The furniture repair guys will call this worrying them, which I think is interesting, but if you just say, we're wiggling them, I will know what you're talking about. Let's not get too crazy. See, there we go. Just wobbled it out real nice. And then, see, that one just rolled out of there. Maybe I shouldn't have even tried smacking them initially. See, that one's loose already there. So we're just wiggling that. I can see the finger joint, the grooves on that chair moving a little bit, so I'm being nice and gentle. This joint between this piece and this chair bottom is loose, but I don't want to crack this if I can avoid it. So I'm kind of being a little gentle. I can see that's moving. Actually, now it looks like that almost maybe just needs to go straight out. So now I'm going a little bit this way to break that joint. And then we are also pulling up a little bit simultaneously. Because this is basically free, but that is still holding us there. And I don't don't know if there's enough to get the clamp in there. Take our handy mallet. Tap them around a little bit to keep breaking the glue bond. Yes, I can already tell that just as we're wiggling, that little bit of this piece right here is moving too. I can tell it's on the edge of cracking, which underneath the chair, put back together, maybe not the worst thing ever, as I said before, but I'd still rather not do it. Yes, I think the part of this cross piece, this diagonal piece that goes in is loose, and the part going to those is not. So we'll go a little more aggressive side to side this way. That feels like it's doing something. See, now it looks like it's moving, well, independently of the splines. And you can hear it starting to crack. I don't know how well that's coming in on the microphone, but can we? I don't want to push that so hard I snap the end off of this one either. Nope, we still cracked it. So you can see, now I've never had good luck getting these all the way apart. You can see there's some of the piece of the chair broken in there, which I think will probably be okay. We'll load that up with glue, stick it together and clamp it. It'll get some hold. We can potentially even put another small screw or something in there as well. I really am not too worried about that. I don't love it, but that just seems to be very common with these. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. See, now I'm really hesitant to even try to get that one off. I might just leave that. That's what I was saying before about kind of seeing how far apart it wants to come. It's always the trick. And I know I said I want to completely disassemble it. These ones I have not been doing, these backs, because these will be a lot of messing around to get apart, and there's really no wear in there. So I think I am going to leave those. I'm going to just set that aside with the seat over here. And then we've got so same thing here. This should come apart without too much hassle. I think this is showing up on video okay here. Wiggle that out, and then yeah, see, this piece is free of the leg, this crossbar, but it's not coming off of that one. Oh, okay, see, I get all excited. I finally levered that one free and I actually cracked the leg a little bit, which is still where we can fix it. So that was really bad, but we can actually glue that. That might be a prime case for the glue injector, and clamp that possibly even before we do the main assembly, though we probably don't have to. We'll have to see. So we can fix that. Probably really don't even need to put a screw or anything in there, and it would show really bad. I think that'll be okay if we clamp and stick it together. It's not ideal, but this kind of repair stuff, sometimes it's very hard not to have something go wrong, though that is definitely a more serious failure. So you can see I'm just wiggling this leg free of the crossbar. You can see it moving more and more. A little bit of outward pressure as we go. Voila. Same thing here. That's already separated quite a bit. Don't want to force it. Nice and gentle. Best we can. Nothing to it. Like I said, I think I'm gonna just leave these in here. These are so solid and I keep cracking them. So that's the side. This is pretty well then completely disassembled, except for these. As I said, you can see we got our whole pile of stuff down there. Nice thorough assembly so we can really do a thorough reglue and rebuild. And we'll be coming back for that here shortly. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe so I know to keep making more of these. I am David, your home repair coach. Thank you for watching. We will see you on the next one.